Peace, y'all. So I realize a lot of people lack confidence, and confidence comes from competence, is what I always say. The more we know, the more we learn, the more we know how to move in accordance with the life that we want to see for ourselves, the more confident we are in it. But a lot of our feelings of this lack of worth come from limitations that have been placed on us by our experiences and other people in our lives. So now we, as cognizant, conscious beings, have the responsibility of finding where in ourselves we lack this confidence and finding where in ourselves we are hurting or feeling less than worthy, and giving those spaces more care, kindness, and love. So in this, it's important that we come to a point of knowing ourselves deeply. So if we continue to run and numb and try to escape our feelings of insecurity or anxiety with whatever the vice may be, then we're not going to be able to face it and provide ourselves with solutions. So that is the first thing, to actually step toward the wound and implement healing. So what I always compare these things to is a bullet wound. So imagine you get shot by a bullet and the bullet is in your arm, and we have the option of going through the pain of going in and pulling it out, or allowing it to fester and to become infected. So it's the same concept with confidence, where we have the choice to fully embody who we are and accept that person in our full authenticity, or we can go the other way and try to fake and become someone else. So the thing about being inauthentic is, yes, you can fake and try to fit into someone else's picture of who you should be, but literally from experience, that will never ever work, because you'll show up in front of some people and let's say you have the face on that you think they want to see. They can hate it. Still, the same people can end up not liking it one day, because first, human beings are emotional, but also people don't always know exactly what they want. So it's never a good idea to try to bend and mold to what someone else's concept of you is, or what you think it is, because people are very changeable. If we try to mold ourselves in a way that fits somebody else's idea of who we should be, we will never be happy. And so many of us get caught in this trap of thinking that, well, if I just act this way, or if I wear these things, then these people will like me or think better about me. But truly, the people who are well liked are the people who like themselves. So everything that happens in our external reality is a reflection of who we are internally. And if people are acting like, also understand that not everybody's gonna like you. That is a general thing, and is a blessing, because it keeps people who are not meant to be on your path with you away from you. But in general, we're so caught up and concerned with being liked that sometimes we allow that external focus to take us away from our internal gift of presence. So coming back to that center and allowing ourselves to feel with authenticity who we really are is what gives us our power. So a really good way to do this is to just sit still and meditate. Honestly, you can do this anywhere. It doesn't matter who's around, it doesn't matter who sees you, and if they're choosing to judge you for sitting still with yourself, they have other problems that they need to be concerned with, so please don't take that personally. And I invite you to go on this journey inward to empower yourself and notice the points where you feel activated and where you feel less than. You really have to spend time being gentle and non-judgmental with yourself, and just allow those feelings to melt away, to fall away from you and not belong to you anymore. Because anytime that we are allowing something that makes us any bit of less secure in ourselves to stay with us, we're only disrupting our own sense of power. That reason being that we are placing a limiting belief on ourselves and a negative belief about who we are. When we walk in full authenticity and integrity, the people that see our light want to be around us, so long as they are also on the same journey of growing and creating a better human. So also, checking my notes, fasting from social media is incredibly powerful, because oftentimes on social media you see so many images of what is not reality, so many images of what people want you to perceive of them, and oftentimes it's just storytelling. So I think many times we get caught up in the story and we don't realize or recall in those moments, this is just a story. So we start to then compare ourselves. So very, very big part of this is to not compare yourself to other people. This is another thing where you never know where someone is at in their journey. You never know what God, Jah, Source, Jehovah Jireh has in plan for you. You never know how things are supposed to play out for you in your journey. And it never, even though we can have very similar experiences with other people, and even though we all share this planet and these emotions and this flesh with one another, it will never be the same as someone else's journey. It will never be exactly the same. So you cannot look at someone else's life or version of something and say, oh yes, this is what I expect. I haven't achieved this yet. Shame, judgment, because then that takes away from who you are, and you fail then to acknowledge your own progress. So to build your confidence, you have to acknowledge your personal progress, not compare it to anyone else's. So anytime you have wins, no matter how small they are, give yourself time to explore and access the power of that win. So when I say access the power of that win, there are so many times that we achieve something, and because it's just a small part of our big goal, I know personally, and you know, this might just be Virgo energy, okay? Personally, sometimes when I achieve the smaller things, I previously would forget to celebrate them because they are not the bigger goal. But the bigger goal is always comprised of the smaller ones, so you have to celebrate yourself in the little moments. And it's also important not to harm yourself or be detrimental to your psyche when you don't exactly have things go to plan. So instead of beating yourself up when something doesn't go according to plan, figure out, in what ways can this serve me? What could I learn here? I'm going to do better next time. And this also builds confidence within you, because now you realize, okay, I don't have to feel like a failure when something doesn't go exactly as I expected. It now becomes data for you to use in the future, and it strengthens you rather than feeling like something that is looming over your head or resting on your shoulders. It takes the weight off and you're able to walk differently. And that leads me to our next part. Your posture is extremely important when it comes to your own self-confidence. And this, just all of it is huge into the play that body language has with other human beings and with ourselves. So even when it comes to things like smiling, just smiling, even if you're not happy, you start to get caught in that state after smiling for just a little bit. Sometimes when I have a really, really tough time getting through a run, I will smile. Sometimes when the workouts get really, really hard, I just smile. Those are the times when smiling the biggest, is when the work is the hardest, because I know this really, really sucks right now. I'm gonna smile and it's gonna be better. I know what I'm doing it for, and because I know I will be better because of it, I'm going to smile as I reap the rewards of this, even though it's slow and painful right now. So the biggest smiles you'll see me wearing is usually when I'm in the most pain working out. But these changes in your physiology that we have functional control over actually change how you feel. So a big part of your confidence is also your posture, the way you carry yourself. This, compared to, I mean, this is not an editorial photo shoot, so we're not doing this right now. But this compared to this, which person are you going to say, oh, I want to speak to them, right? Who is more magnetic to the average person? Who draws you in more? The person who has more confidence, the person who has the confidence to have their chest high, to have their chin straight, to look you in the eye. Eye contact is another huge thing, because especially now in the age of social media and having all of these digital things at our fingertips, we're starting to lose some of the art of human communication a bit. And eye contact is so strong in building your confidence, because you start to see, oh, I can have this connection with this person, and it's safe actually for me to just hold and to see into your soul and for you to see into mine, because also I have nothing to hide. Because truly, when you love yourself and you understand why you go through your lows and your highs, and you appreciate every bit of the journey, which is a process we have to go through, and it comes with greater consciousness, you become confident in everything. I once had a dance teacher who in the class said, you know, I don't care if your next step is wrong, you stomp that foot. And I will never forget that, just because I was very hesitant in the dance class. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this move wrong or that move wrong. I'm going to feel stupid. I'm going to look dumb. And then when I really got out of my head after he said that, I realized that in everything that we do, just do it with everything that you have in that moment. Do it to your fullest capacity, because holding back will only make you look back and think, well, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. Personally, I don't want to live life thinking, oh, I could have been better in this way, or I could have been better in that way. I want to be better, best while I'm here, while I have the time, while I have the fortitude and the mental capacity, because I believe that growth is our purpose, learning is our purpose, acquiring knowledge while we're here, and just being that expansion of love and light and God power is so beautiful. So always do your best. And then you walk away with more confidence as well, because you know, oh, you know, that might not have worked, but I gave it my best shot. Or maybe it just wasn't today. But now I feel even better about it, and I'm going to go back better tomorrow. So just keeping yourself in line with your integrity and your intention also builds a lot of confidence, because then you stop feeling like you have something to hide or something to be ashamed of, because you show up fully each day. So another thing I often think about is when I start feeling a bit less than confident, I start to realize that I'm not in the driver's seat, right? So just imagine that you're in a car driving through, and it's life. And as soon as you start to get all caught up in what everyone thinks and stop feeling strong and powerful in yourself, realize that you've entered the passenger seat. Sometimes we end up in the trunk and we don't even realize we've gotten back that far. But pay attention, because sometimes we're putting ourselves in the passenger seat by not being conscious and aware of how we're going through our daily lives, and not paying attention to our own psychological needs and our emotions and what's happening on the day-to-day. And sometimes losing track of that will put us in a place where we don't feel confident, and we feel depressed, or we feel anxious, and it's because we are not in the driver's seat. When you're in the driver's seat, you feel great. The vehicle of your body, of your life, feels great. You feel like you're back in control. The driver's seat is a great place to be. Mind you, you're never fully in control, okay? There's still gonna be other drivers on the road and other things can happen, but you're in control of your vehicle. And that is the most important part, because when you start to give your power to other people, you will never feel confident, because you have no sense of control. And ultimately, the way we feel safe is having a sense of control. So that's really going to ground you as well. And touching back on the idea of comparing yourself to others, really realize what you're doing when you do that. When we compare ourselves to others, we are telling our inner child, our inner self, you're not worthy. You're not worthy. Look at them. Wow. They're so amazing. They're so great. And then there's you. Like, don't be a mean girl to your inner child. Do not be a mean girl to your inner child. Speak life to your inner child, because that child is so capable of so many miracles. You are so capable of so many miracles and things that you would not have imagined. And sometimes that takes a lot of pressure and that takes a lot of pain. But when you push through the things that really, really suck, you get to the things that are really, really amazing. And you get to see truly how beautiful you are. So never run or chase after someone that you admire their accolades, or you admire the way they look, and you put yourself down because of it. You have to love yourself. You get to love yourself through all of the levels and stages that you're at. And it's important for you to spend time with yourself to figure out what is unique about you, because we're all puzzle pieces to this thing called life. We all have our unique attributes, and we're all put here for a specific reason. So you just have to figure out what your reason is and move into that. Find your hobbies, lean into your hobbies. Figure out something you would really love to do and to be good at here, and lean into that. Show yourself how amazing you are. You have to remind yourself sometimes, I'm really good at this. I really have an ear for this. I've really always wanted to do this. I'm so glad I'm finally starting to study it or to learn it. All of these things build your confidence. Confidence comes from competence. So learn how to be still with yourself. Learn how to notice when a really, really bad feeling comes up. Grab it in that moment, sit with it, figure out what really caused this, and then let it melt away in a meditation. And by meditation, I just mean sitting, centering yourself, focusing here, closing your eyes, and allowing yourself to feel and to release. Allow things to pass through you so you're not holding negative energy inside of you. And also understand that life moves in phases. So we can move in accordance with those phases, or we can move out of accordance with those phases. And to move in accordance with the phases is, imagine that there's a phase, right? And it's going. And you either have the option to, okay, here is birth, here is the old age, the right old age that you pass away. So you have the option to stay here, and you'll be healthy and fit and happy all the way till you get here, because this is time, and time is going to pass either way. Or you can live out of accordance, which is not in alignment with this that's going to continue to pass, this phase that's continuing to pass, and say, oh, well, I don't want to take care of myself. No, that's too hard. No, I don't want to learn. That takes too much time. No, I'm not going to eat whole foods. I don't really care about that. Oh, okay, all right. So now this particle person that didn't keep up with the phases was stuck back here. Remember, sticking with this one, this person is happy, joyous. This person is not. Now this person has been left in the decay and the slowness that's stuck behind this phase. But if you stay on course with it, even though it's challenging because you're making distance and tracks all the way, you're so much more happier and so much more fulfilled, and confidence comes so easily when you keep showing up for yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Do it, because then you trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, even if it's the smallest thing that you say you're going to do, keep that word as bond, you'll trust yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the more confident you'll be, because you know, I'm going to show up for this. I'm going to do my best. I hope this was helpful. Peace.